Hey, in this video, I'm going to explain how to begin speedrunning Pokemon Red Any% Glitchless Classic. This guide could be a bit helpful for speedrunning other categories of Pokemon Red or Gen 1 in general. What I'm going to be covering is the efficient way to practice the route. So let's suppose that you stumbled across Pokemon Red either through speedrun.com or you joined the PSR Gen 1 through 3 Discord and may have navigated to a list of routes that look similar to this here. There's a lot of routes to choose from. I encourage you to read through the guide to choosing the routes, the FAQ that's linked within the beginner guides, and just checking it out for yourself. Once you've settled on, maybe starting with the classic beginner route, for example, you might take a look at these different resources, and you might think, how should I start? Should I just do a whole playthrough of the run doing the guide? That's a great thing to do. Go ahead and do that. You'll probably be able to beat the game between 2.5 to 3 hours, and it's probably gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, I think this is a fun category to play. But once you want to improve, you're really going to want to have something like I have on the left of my screen here, which is a ROM that has the save states injected into it. Just to show, once you do have this ROM set up, you'll be able to select any palette on the title screen, and the save states will automatically inherit that palette, which is a very nice thing. So you can play on your preferred palette with the save states, regardless of what palette they were made on. Then when you press down, B, and select at the same time, you'll just be able to pull up the save state menu. Once you get past the palette selection, as soon as the copyright screen comes up, down, select, and B will let you access all these save states. You can toggle up and down with up and down, or you can page through using left or right to navigate quicker. All you have to do is press A on a spot, and it'll send you directly to where you want to be to perform a specific menu, or a specific fight, or a set of non-intuitive, difficult movement. So, here's an example. We do have a bunch of states for the tunnel in this particular set of states. These are the red classic intermediate states. There's also a set of beginner states. And a set of advanced states, though they are not currently completely up to date, but the beginner and intermediate states are up to date. So for example, if we pull up this one, it'll just send us after the second fight, performing the movement that we want to do to like get to the next spot. Just to give like a quick explanation here. And like let's say you hate using the cheater palette there, and you're on the blue palette instead, or using the standard red palette, whatever the case may be. If you go back to that same spot, it'll inherit that palette, so you could practice the movement in the dark. Right? That was terrible. I just kind of butchered it, but it's okay. So then you might ask, okay, how do I get something like that? Well, we're gonna assume that you've gone and downloaded one of the approved emulators, either GSE or GSR. So if you have one of those, the most recent version up and running well, you could use that emulator to open this file once you generate it. You also need a GBC BIOS bin. That again, Google's your friend there. You can go ahead and find that, and then you can navigate over to the resource page on speedrun.com. Go to the RBY Save State Patcher by Huangbro. There's some, if you go into this, there's some useful information on the GitHub. So definitely go over to the GitHub page and read through it just so you can learn a bit more. There could be some requirements listed there too. Then you can download the save states that you want. The beginner glitchless states are here. The beginner classic states are actually in here. I should maybe change the name there to explain that. So you can find the beginner states here. You can find the intermediate states that I have here in this folder. Once you've downloaded all of those, you can go ahead and open the Save State Patcher. It'll look like this, and it'll prompt you to open a vanilla ROM. That just means open a regular standard non-modified ROM, the one that you use to speedrun on. So mine is right here, the one that I use to speedrun on. I just call Pokemon Red.gbc. Then you'll hit Add States. Then you'll navigate over to the folder that you, it'll download a .zip file, and then you could unzip it and just put the folder wherever you want it to be. I unzipped it and then named the folder Red Classic Intermediate Route States. So you'll open that folder, then go ahead and highlight all of the states. You can highlight all of them and then just hit open. It'll send all of them in order. If you want, you can go through one by one and rename any of them that you want to rename. In particular, you could trim off the number in front of it if you want to, but it's really not necessary. You could just leave it as is. Click Save As, and then name it what you want to name it. I named mine Classic Intermediate.gbc and saved it to the folder I keep ROMs in. And then you can do File Open ROM, find the file, right? You'll have to actually go Open ROM and navigate to where you saved it. And then you can open it on either GSR or GSE. And like I said, you could select the palette from that screen. I didn't do it that time, so it's going to be just the regular red palette now. And you can navigate to any of the spots to do the different menus, right? And if you mess up a menu, you just press down B select again and just redo it. Right there, I thought TM12 was going to be in slot 3, but it was slot 4. So so I can be like, oh yeah, like unless I'm out of Pokeballs, it's going to be in slot 4. Let's remember that for next time and get used to knowing what that feels like so I can execute a good menu. Or over here, like oddish dsum, right? It doesn't say oddish, but of course this is the oddish a spot where we might need an oddish and we'd want a dsum for one. So this will help us do that. Just practice, assuming this wasn't an oddish, running away from it really well, and either doing the steps that we need to do before we go back in to find it, or doing the time-based dsum where we step out and step back in. It just gives us access to very quickly and efficiently practicing everything. So, great tool by Huangbro. So I'm happy to make these save states and just explain how to use the tool. And that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the nice people over at the Gen 1 through 3 PSR Discord, and we would certainly be able to field them. Have a good one. Bye.